course, we have to start this conversation with what's going on today right here in the United States. Now, in case you missed it this week, it came out that the 30-year Treasury yield has hit the highest level since 2007, 5.19, okay? And that number is continuing to tick up. The reason why this is such a big deal, because you might go, okay, what is this 2008 all over again? Not necessarily, right? I'm not talking about the housing crisis and a derivative crisis, although that absolutely is in the works too, just in a completely different way. We're not talking about mortgage-backed securities this time, right? There are derivatives that are even larger. The total market is actually bigger than it was in 2007. Many people I talk to say, wait a second, did that go away? Now, just because you don't hear about it or see it does not mean it's still in the shadows, very much so. But the reason why this is so scary is that essentially yields are the interest we pay on our debt as a nation, right? The higher the yield, the more we're paying on our debt. Now, since 2007, something very important has changed. And I don't know if anyone out there can tell me what it is. Let me know in the comments before I tell you. Do you know what has changed since 2007 and why these yields are so terrifying? I'm going to show you right now. This is a chart from Fred, right? The total public debt that we have, okay? Basically, we're almost at 40,000 today. So if we see 40,000 today, well, what about back in 2007? Over here, where were we? This was roughly didn't mean to cross that out. This was roughly $8 trillion. $8 trillion in 2007 versus today, roughly $40 trillion. Think about what that means. For anyone out there who's paid interest on a credit card, imagine paying 5% on a balance of 8 trillion, right? We're not talking about a couple thousands or 10,000s. We're talking about 8 trillion versus now paying 5% on 40 trillion, right? It is so much higher. And that is why right now our interest payments in the United States are more than what we spend on our total defense budget, okay? And the problem with this is that it's not just a U.S. problem. We talk about the U.S. debt all the time, but this is a global issue we're seeing. Let's see here. If we look at globally what's happening right now, these are 10 years, that's why you're seeing 4.67 instead of 5.1 for the U.S. Green normally means good, but green here means bad because it means the yields are rising. It means that there's less confidence in debt as a total, as a whole. So it's the US, the UK, Japan, Germany, Brazil, Russia, all green, and even the red, it's barely going down, right? So this is happening on a global level, where we're seeing all these nations now having to offer even higher yields to just finance and service their debt. Look at these related articles here on Trading Economics. German 30-year bond yield hits highest since 2011. UK 30-year borrowing costs hits fresh 27-year high, right? This is not indicative of a healthy global economy. We focus a lot on the United States because it's home for me and home for many of our viewers. And of course, again, the dollar is the global reserve currency. So whatever happens to the dollar is going to impact everyone. But this is happening on a big scale. In particular, when we look at these different yields that are going up, there's been a lot of talk in the news this week about Japan. Now, Japan means a great deal to the United States for a variety of reasons. But the Japanese yield, what's happening right now with the 10-year, rose to 2.73%, its highest level since May 1997. The reason why this is so concerning is that the higher the yields go, the more that's being offered on the interest here, it's going to trigger bets on repatriation. Now, we might be familiar with repatriation when I talk about it in a gold context, which is essentially nations repatriating their gold or bringing it home. The same could happen here with investors. So they would sell their U.S. treasuries and instead bring that cash back on home. And it's something we're starting to see. There's a chart I liked here, right?